be a substitute teacher with EduStaff, you have the ability to change a student's life.
I'd like to welcome all of you to the first episode of the EduStaff podcast. EduStaff is a nationwide substitute staffing company. We provide payroll, recruiting, and substitute staffing services, and some of our services also go beyond that, but we can get into that here in a second. This podcast is going to be more of an informal type of discussion. A lot of our viewers are in meetings and pretty high-level things all day, so we just want people to join here and learn a little bit more of education. EduStaff hopes to continue to be a thought leader in the space, and that's one of the reasons we are starting this podcast, so we can keep people informed on the changes and what it looks like behind the scenes in the world of education. My name is JP, and I'm joined here by Ernest today. Ernest, how are you?
I'm good, JP, man. Appreciate you. And hey, listen, great introduction, too. I appreciate that.
Let's start with just a little bit of your background and how you kind of came into the education space so people understand your role here at EduStaff.
I come from a family of educators, man. So my mother-in-law to my mother to my grandmother to my aunts all worked in education. So it left me with a passion of, number one, the importance of educating our students. Number two, it also gave me a desire to help our schools just from seeing what some of our school districts are dealing with.
Sure.
So that's kind of my history and connection in education. I wasn't a teacher, but I had an opportunity to sub-teach quite a bit in different classrooms. So understanding what our substitute teachers go through on a day-to-day basis, I got firsthand knowledge of that. So I've been with the organization 10 years. I've worked in various different departments in our organization, and honestly, I really appreciate the impact that we are able to make on several different school districts, most importantly our students. So that's what brought me to EduStaff.
As far as your role goes here at EduStaff, what's kind of like your day-to-day look like?
I spend a lot of my day just connecting with our different school districts. So EduStaff is in the state of Michigan, but also 10 other states. So I spend a ton of time just connecting with different district partners and making sure they are well taken care of and that our service model is being exactly what we say it's going to be. I spend a lot of time troubleshooting different issues, working through different maybe financial issues our districts may be dealing with when it comes to staffing. Also just troubleshooting across the board to see if we can provide additional support for them.
Sure.
So I spend a ton of time just troubleshooting and working directly with our district partners across the board. But that's a good question, man. I had to think about that a little bit. And then also we have several different territory managers throughout multiple states, several different account managers that are local to every single school district. So I spend a lot of time with them just strategizing to make sure we are fully supporting our school districts. So.
You touched on a lot of key things there, so let's kind of work it back a little bit, and if you could give me like the elevator pitch of EduStaff, what our model looks like, what can people expect when partnering with someone that is a substitute staffing company?
I'll capture it this way. So EduStaff service model is, number one, providing great substitute teachers within the classroom or great substitute support employees. Number two is making sure that our students are well educated by these substitute teachers, so they're trained on how to follow lesson plans, and sometimes they're trained on how to create lesson plans if they need to do that. And number three, we try to work directly in partnership with each and every school district, understanding their needs may be a little different, and making sure we're supplying great staffing for their district as their staffing partner.
What's it look like when you're kind of navigating with that with someone who hasn't dealt with a staffing company? Internal HR departments are probably doing all of this on their own, but how do you explain that to someone who hasn't dealt with it before?
That's a good question. And honestly, if you've never dealt with a third party before or an educational staffing partner, it can be a scary deal, right? Because you don't know what to expect. You're letting go of staffing members who have been connected with the district sometimes for a long period of time. Sometimes these individuals are retirees. And you also want to make sure you're not making a bad decision for the school district. So what makes our model very unique is a few different things. Number one, we'll walk you through the entire EduStaff staffing model or service model before you partner with us to make sure you feel confident about our model. Number two is we also try to meet with our clients either on a weekly basis or a monthly basis based off their time or availability to make sure they feel comfortable within this partnership because this is so new. And as we walk and navigate different things with our district partner, we make sure that they are fully understanding what is going to happen next. So we will have meetings on the front end to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to transition all your substitute teachers over to EduStaff. This is exactly what the process is going to look like. And then from there, you'll get ongoing communication. We're going to also build your subpool up as we are transitioning your current subpool. Because the best thing ever is to centralize that process because we become that main contact for you. So if you can imagine it this way, in HR, you have many different hats. And sometimes that hat is working with your substitute teachers. And you got to train these individuals. You got to recruit for these individuals. You got to provide marketing for these individuals, performance evaluations, all the above. So we are that arm to your HR team, to your administrators, to your building administrators, where you no longer have to worry about that big arm of the school district. Now you have not just one person that's locally committed to your district, but you have several team members from a call center, from a payroll division, from a IT division, from an HR team that all support your school district. So you're not alone in the process now. Now you say, okay, I need a substitute teacher. Let me hand it over to EduStaff that's going to do everything for you in that area. So you no longer have to worry about finding great substitute teachers. In addition, districts have a voice. So if you find and say, hey, it's not like it's totally hands off, because sometimes that's a scary thing too.
Kind of like a back and forth.
Yeah, it's a direct partnership. So you still have the ability to say, hey, can we think about adding this as part of the training process for substitute teachers? Can we think about recruiting here? Can we think about whatever it may be? We're open to working directly in partnership, not in a silo.
One of the questions I wanted to ask you is, are there any trends that you're seeing in the current education landscape?
I mean, there's similarities in every state what the issues are. We know across the board there is a teacher shortage. We know across the board that special education is a high need. We know across the board that our school district funding is being cut, right? ESSER funds are running out. School districts have to depend on different type of Title 1, 2, 3, whatever the title may be for funding. Some districts are struggling with student count due to many different reasons. So those are challenges across the board that we as EduStaff try to navigate with our school districts on their staffing needs. So we have support from substitute teachers to paraprofessionals to sub whatever position, classifier, support position. And then we also can hire full-time positions and find these individuals for school districts too as well. So that's how we come in to try to support the big issues that we are noticing out there. In addition to that, we have a special education that we can start supporting districts in as well. So hopefully I answered your question, JP.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did that go to the route that you were looking for?
It did, and you have a unique perspective dealing with our national team here.
Yeah, very true. I have something I would say if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, I think there's two major things for us for EduStaff. There is those individuals who are interested in possibly becoming a substitute teacher, or they're in the community and they want to make an impact on the school district. I want to tell a short story first, and then I want to get into how to get involved. It's interesting to navigate the impact that you can have on a student's life as a substitute teacher. My mother-in-law reminded me of this. So she was a teacher, third grade, second grade, fourth grade teacher for 33 years.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
She told me the story, JP, that stuck with me because I heard it at her retirement party. There was a student actually told the story. I'm sorry, let me recap that. She said, I was a not so good student. I threw tables and chairs because I didn't know how to deal with my anger inside. I fought the other students on a day-to-day basis. I was very disruptive. I even tried to fight you. And he looked at her and he said, but one thing I have to tell you is this. In the midst of all of that, you never gave up on me. And he said, this is his second grade teacher. And he said, it's because of you that I made it to the NFL today.
Oh,
Thank you so much
wow.
for never giving up on me.
That is incredible.
And I say all that to say, JP, is that when you sign up to be a substitute teacher with EduStaff, you have the ability to change a student's life by sowing a seed in their life. It's not that you walk into the classroom and you're this big motivational speaker, or you're just going to correct everything in the classroom and make the student better. That was not my mother-in-law's heart. Her heart was to serve every student to the best of her abilities and care and have passion for what she's doing. And because she walked in the classroom caring about each and every student, it impacted someone's life. And I'm sure there's many people that have not came back to her yet and said something. But that's the same thing, JP, our substitute teachers have the ability to do, is that they can sign up for an assignment, work through EduStaff, go to edustaff.org, click start an application. We'll walk you through the entire process. We'll train you. And from there, you have the ability to pick up assignment. And when you walk in that assignment, don't have a heart like you're going to be a babysitter, because that's not what you are. Have a heart and say, number one, today, I'm going to utilize the tools and resources that the district has given me to make a difference in every one of these children's lives. And have passion and do your very best in that classroom. And I guarantee you this, the seed that you are sowing may not come out day 1, day 2, day 3, but if you sow a proper seed in our children's lives, it will one day come to fruition, just like it did in for my mother-in-law. For what it's worth, I think one thing we have to know is that it's not about accepting an assignment to just help out our teachers. It's about impacting our students' lives.
That's awesome. You walked right into this next one. One of the ways I want to end all of these podcasts to kind of bring everybody together is I have one question for you.
Yeah, all right. Throughout
your educational career, can you think of one person that stood out, made an impact, or changed your life in any way?
Yeah, and I think you're 100% right. It's my mother-in-law, for sure, as an educator. It's my mother as a paraprofessional educator, and working in childcare for many years. And she dedicated her life just to helping students. It's my mother-in-law. It's my aunt, my aunts, both of them actually, who dedicated their lives to making an impact on students' lives. It's our founder, Clark Galloway, who had a heart to make a difference in the environment he saw within our school districts. So I think all those individuals have inspired me, and also keeps me understanding that for what we do every day, it's making a difference. So
that's wonderful, man. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a blast. A lot of insightful information, and maybe we'll be able to have you back in again sometime.
I love it, man. Thank you, JP.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Have a wonderful day.
Awesome.